Mr. Joe Gallo. Please give him a round of applause as he makes his way up.
I'm a man of many words. I just want to warn you right ahead of time. Well, what a fabulous celebration that Spencer and Elizabeth have put together here. A round of applause for them for putting everything together here. Gorgeous. On behalf of the Gallo and English family, I want to thank all of you for coming and enjoying our special union here. Thank you so much for being partaking of this special occasion for us. I want to recognize those that are missing from our presence and celebration here tonight, but they're still near and dear in our hearts. From the English side of the family, we have Mr. and Mrs. William and Joan English. Sad they're not here, never got to meet them. Also, Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Jack and Virginia Gallagher, likewise on that. From the Gallo side of the family, Manfred Ulrich and Coca Ulrich. Coca Ulrich is not feeling good and she couldn't make the trip here. Manfred passed away a while ago. My father, Nicola Gallo, miss him very much, and my wife, Fee Gallo. I'm so blessed to be celebrating all of this beautiful couple here, and can someone ring the glasses again? These guys aren't kissing enough. Thank you, thank you. I know many of you have taken trains, planes, and automobiles to get here, and thank you for doing that. How many of you here are from Detroit? Let me hear you, Detroit. All right, Detroit. And what about Chicago? Let's hear you, Chicago. All right. Wait, and the rest of you people, where you from? You can put. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The rest of the people. Hey, no offense, Detroit, but Chicago came in and kicked your butt, okay? Just saying, just saying. All right, we may not be able to agree on sports, but we can all agree that Spencer and Elizabeth make a great team and a fabulous couple, can we not? You've probably heard it said, and I think it's kind of lame, that dads say, you know, you're not good enough for my daughter. I don't feel that way about Spencer. I'm going to be honest with you. Spencer is an outstanding young man. I give a lot of credit to Richard and Claire for raising him right. He obviously has great taste. Right? He's an awesome guy. Like I said, I give a lot of credit to Richard and Claire. Spencer is an amazing young man, as all of your kids are, Richard and Claire. I can tell you that from meeting them. You did an amazing job. My only question is, what happened to Chloe? She calls me Crazy Joe Gallo. What kind of respect is that? Come on now. I'm a gangster from New York. And you know what? You dragged your mom into it. Now she calls me Crazy Joe Gallo. Jeez. So I really didn't know much about Spencer, and I tried to dig up some dirt, some of his stories, right? The guy is squeaky clean. Yeah. He's squeaky clean. There are no stories.
Wait, let me get up.
All right, here we go. Richard, did you read my speech? Because that's what I want. I want some of his closest friends to give the dirtiest stories about him. Come on up. We got open mic. Yeah, sit down, sit down. We're just kidding. Just kidding. All right, so here's this. So many of you guys don't know this, but Spencer is a minimalist from a long time ago. Who knew that? Raise your hand if you knew that Spencer was a minimalist. He likes nothing. He likes everything minimal, you know, he's very nervous, by the way. He's shaking right here. His knee is bouncing up and down. He's very, very nervous about what I'm about to say. So I actually talked to Chloe and Harrison and said, give me a story. And I got one. I don't know how many of you know. It must be well known in the English family, but the Gallo family has no idea. So Harrison and Spencer used to share a room. And they had the TV on at night all the time, but they put a towel underneath the TV, underneath the door so that nobody would know the lights was on. One night they forgot. And Alex found out and said, you know what? You want my little dresser, and I want your big dresser. And the next day, I think Spencer was 9 and Harrison was 7, according to Harrison at least. The next day they did the switch. My question to Claire and Richard is, where the hell were you guys? How did they do that and you didn't find out till years later? What? Ask my kids, that would have never happened in the Gallo house. So we would have caught you. Here's what I think about Spencer. He's an awesome guy. He is Elizabeth's rock. He is perfect for her. He is there for support her when Elizabeth has her moments. Spencer's always there supportive to her. You know, and those of you that know Spencer know how much he loves his Sundays. We've already talked about this before. Spencer likes to get up at noon, put on his robe, and lounge the whole day, right? This guy was on a train. For 2 years or 3 years, they were going back and forth to each other on a train. And a guy that didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. That says something about him. One of the other stories about Spencer that I have is that he loves to surprise Elizabeth. He surprised her with a trip to Paris. Spencer, what, you couldn't invite me? I mean, he takes care of her. I mean, it's evident in the way he looks at her and the way he cares for her that they're a perfect couple for each other. I'm very blessed to have him part of the family. Spencer also puts up with me. When I was moving out of my house of 30 years, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm a pack rat. What?
I'm scared.
So I'm a pack rat, and I had an elliptical that was broken that I was going to get rewelded. And now, mind you, they were coming in from Detroit to clean up my crap that I didn't throw out for a long time. Excuse my language. And they threw out my elliptical, and I went ballistic. Did I not? Did I go ballistic? I did. Yeah. I yelled at your son. I'm sorry, but I did. Needless to say, he stuck around still. He stuck around even after I yelled at him. So that's an awesome story about, and let me tell you another thing about him, okay? So the type of guy he is, my house is all cleaned out. We're ready to go to move out of the house, and he's still cleaning my window. I'm like, Spencer, it's okay. You don't have to clean the windows anymore. He's like rubbing the windows. There's a couple stains there. On a ladder. I mean, unbelievable. And the last one, I want to tell you a little bit about Spencer. So little things make a big difference in his life. So Spencer and Chloe and Elizabeth went to a Bruno Mars concert. Remember this?
I do.
Okay. And so after the concert, they got this choice spot that was free in front, right? Yeah. So after the concert, Chloe says to him, hey, Spencer, what's the best part of the concert? He says, the parking spot. All right, so let me talk to you about my daughter, okay? What makes her special. Elizabeth is always somebody who puts other people first. Spencer does the same thing. I'll tell you a story at the end of this that tells you about both of them, why I think they're so perfect for each other. But Elizabeth always puts other people first. I can remember when Elizabeth was 2 or 3 years old, and she would see somebody playing alone at the playground. Elizabeth would go up to them and make friends with them. She had this ability to draw people in and make friends. She's always concerned about other people's feelings. Another one of the stories that happened this week. So, you know, when you're getting ready for a wedding, there's lots of things you have to get rid of. Make sure that the photographers show up and the flowers are ready, the venue. So this week is her wedding week. What does she do? She plans a massage and dinner for Kelly and Jeff, my daughter and son-in-law, for their birthday, gives them a massage and dinner, and then watches the kids so they can go out on her wedding week. Isn't that unbelievable? And I tell you, I couldn't have moved out of my house without her help. She came so many times to clean up my junk and crap. It wasn't even funny. She'd get mad at me, but she'd come back every week. Every week. She was mean, but she was right. I'm a pack rat. What can I tell you? I'm like those hoarders, you know? It's bad. It's bad. And then her traveling back and forth for 3 years to Michigan just showed to me how much Spencer meant to her and how much that relationship meant to her. Although I'm going to tell you, I had reservations. When she first moved to Michigan and I found out she was living alone, I'm like, you just moved to Michigan and Spencer's not living with you? What? That's a bad sign in a dad's eyes, right? I had my skeptics at that point. I'm like, whoa, maybe he's not the guy. But it turned out okay. He turned out okay. She did that for 3 years. Let me tell you something else she did that nobody knows about. My sister and brother-in-law are celebrating their 33rd wedding anniversary yesterday. Rose and Bob, stand up. Rose and Bob, stand up. And just to show you the type of people that Spencer and Elizabeth are, they had a delicious bottle of champagne waiting for them in their room with a happy anniversary. That just tells you how much they care about other people's. So now here's the sappy part that I'm going to give you advice. This is going to be sappy. Huh?
So what was the rest of this?
Well, the rest of your stories about you. I want to keep it. People are hungry, okay? Wrap it up, see? So here's my advice to you. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. Don't forget about how you feel today about each other, the way you looked at each other's eyes, and the joy and love that you had for each other. Forgive quickly. Hold grudges never. Love and cherish each other and have lots of babies. It's the best thing that happened in my life. Let's lift the glass. Lift the glass to Spencer and Elizabeth. Here, to the newlyweds, the new Mr. and Mrs. English. And then I want to give you guys a blessing on Elizabeth and Spencer, and on the rest of you too. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord be gracious to you and lift his countenance to you and give you peace. God bless.
Let's give a big round of applause for Joe. Okay. It's all good. He was in his zone. I feel.
Okay. Good evening, anyone. I'm Hannah. Some of you may have noticed I'm playing a very important role in today's wedding. It is my duty to settle a bet I witnessed nearly 2 decades ago. Now, when Elizabeth was just a young child, she was swindled into a bet. At age 9, she didn't have any prospects, so she made a bet with Joey that she would never get married, and if she did, she had to pay him $500. It was all risk and 0 reward, because they never put an age limit on this bet. So today, as of roughly 5:03 p.m. this evening, I'm here to tell you, Elizabeth, it's time to pay up. I checked with Joe before the ceremony, and he'll take cash, card, Venmo, or indentured servitude. But I'll let the two of you guys settle that after this. Elizabeth, although you lost the bet, you've won big with Spencer. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I know it means the world to Elizabeth and Spencer to have you here celebrating them. I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to start us off with a toast. Before I get to the top secret and embarrassing Elizabeth stories, I want to take a moment to acknowledge someone who cannot be with us tonight. Our mother, Violetta Gallo. I wish more than anything you could have had her here today. She would have been so happy the two of you found each other. She would have brought some signature move to the dance floor, and she would have insisted on wearing purple eyeshadow. But mostly, she would have been so happy and proud of the life you two are building together. So please raise a glass in her honor. Okay. As the youngest Gallo sister, being Elizabeth's honor was basically my birthright. Back in the early 2000s, Kelly sat us 4 sisters down and informed us that we'd be each other's maid of honor. I had 0 clue what a maid of honor was, so naturally, as an impressionable 7-year-old, I agreed to the task without any questions. But I didn't know this duty I didn't know this duty would require answering a minimum of 10 phone calls a day from Elizabeth to talk about the wedding in depth, that I would need to weigh in and actually have an opinion on wedding signage and wedding website fonts, or that I would have to plan the bachelorette party, not once, not twice, but 3 times after the VRBO kept canceling on us. Or that 3 weeks out, we'd be all looking for new bridesmaid dresses when we learned they would not come in time. And somehow we're here. We made it to this day, and my duties will soon be done after this toast, but will soon be done after this toast. But to sum it all up, it was all worth it to celebrate you guys. I would not do this for anyone else. I'm thrilled to stand by my sister's side today, and also to maybe have a few less phone calls from here on out. As Elizabeth's younger sister, I've had the unique perspective and privilege to experience every phase of life with her. It's nearly impossible to think of a childhood memory that doesn't involve her. With our 15-month age gap, we shared a room, bedtime, friends, sports teams, and life experiences, and language. Yes, we made up our own language and would use it in front of our siblings to piss them off. It was mostly just to communicate what time we wanted to play, but 10 out of times, it made them so angry. We also had our reckless moments together, like when we got into an argument with our mom and decided the best way to make her pay was to run away. We contrived a genius plan. We packed our Barbie suitcase and grabbed our matching Precious Moments sleeping bags and put them out on the roof to slide out so she didn't see us going through the front door. This was the moment Elizabeth became my actual ride or die. We also had countless epic fights where our most stubborn personality traits come out. One of my all-time favorites is the time Elizabeth threw every single pair of socks I owned out our bedroom window. She literally did that. After I tried to destroy her stationary box fan for running it in the middle of winter. We've also had our sentimental moments, like when we entered our first day of public school together, or when we thought it was absolutely necessary to match our outfits, just in slightly different colors. Up until about age 10. But that's when Elizabeth entered what she called her sophisticated stage. This is when she decided it was no longer cool to match outfits with me, and she needed to revamp her look. She hit the thrift store, coming back with a pea coat and a Ralph Lauren red polo. She would wear Sherry's glasses and talk in a British accent. She was the epitome of class. I think you'd see life with Elizabeth has always been an adventure. And being in a big family, Elizabeth is the person who always knows how to make everyone feel special and loved. She's my fellow middle child, and she's the most attentive of the bunch. She's the most generous person I know. For my 24th birthday, Elizabeth called me and asked me to take a day of PTO. I thought maybe we were going to do something in the city, in Chicago. But no, she literally booked me a surprise flight to Tampa and flew me across the country to see my favorite musical artist at a concert and had activities the entire weekend. Another year, she surprised me with Hamilton tickets. I think she's the first person to show up to celebrate everyone's accomplishments, and the last person at the party, making sure everything was a success. Elizabeth has never been one to crave being the center of attention. So I couldn't be more excited that it's her day today, and she's finally getting all the fame and glory. Now, to get to those top secret and embarrassing Elizabeth stories I promised, those are gonna have to wait. In this sisterhood, we take those to the grave. Elizabeth is my pretend twin, my secret keeper, the the one who knows all my stories, the rebel to my rule-abiding nature, my wing woman, my boxing partner, if you know, you know. The only person that can convince me a 12-hour road trip is feasible in a single day, and then sacrifice herself and not have me drive a minute of it because she knows how much I hate driving. Elizabeth is the woman I look up to and want to be. She's confident, strong, independent, driven, and has a heart full of gold that radiates to those around her. She's taught me so many life lessons, from how to act humbly to how to persevere and keep smiling, even through the hard moments, and to focus on the good and be joyful. Elizabeth, I'm gonna tear, you guys. You are an exceptional human being, my very best friend. I couldn't have asked for or dreamed of a better built-in best friend for life. And Spencer came into Elizabeth's life, and along came a new best friend. The moment Spencer entered Elizabeth's world, I knew it was monumental. I remember getting a call from Elizabeth the day after she met him, and she called me to tell me about the boy she met at a college party. He was older, mature, from Michigan, and kind of had mysterious vibes from what she described. With Elizabeth away at school in Michigan and me in Iowa, I didn't have an opportunity to meet Spencer until quite a few months into the relationship. But I began to pick up bits and pieces about Spencer from our daily phone calls. We only had about two to three at that time. He had her sense of humor, a strong sense of family and tradition, her same geeky interests like a love for Lord of the Rings. He was charismatic and respectful. Spencer was serious about Elizabeth from the very beginning and could hold his own with her, something he mastered in just a short time, what took me years to do. When I finally got to meet Spencer Thanksgiving week of 2014, I knew their match had come from a higher power. Spencer walked into the gala residence wearing a button-down Ralph Lauren shirt. While it wasn't a red polo, like Elizabeth's tenet of sophistication at age 12, he naturally gave off charm and sophistication from his very presence. I knew in that instant he was it. He was the guy she would marry. One thing I'll tell you about Spencer is he's the most intentional and hospitable person I know. Every time I've gone to visit Elizabeth in Michigan, I arrive to a perfectly clean guest room, freshly pressed towels, fancy dark chocolate, face masks, slippers, chapsticks, and always a welcome greeting on letterhead that's titled Hotel Spencer. Spencer takes the time to appreciate those around him, and he's always rolling out the red carpet to make sure everyone feels welcome. It's no wonder the two of them found each other. He radiates the same kind of admiration for others and has a kind and thoughtful heart. He knows how to take care of my sister, even when she doesn't know that she needs it. He's a loyal companion and always puts her well-being and needs first. He challenges her to be a better person, to reach for goals, while at the same time taking away some of the heaviness in life and replacing it with adventure. I've seen the two of them overcome many of life's obstacles, and the two of them have come through only stronger and more unified. Of all the people out there, I'm thankful Elizabeth chose Spencer. One of the things people don't think about when they date a gallo is we're a package deal. With one comes a loud, chaotic, messy big family of 7 other siblings who are tethered to one another. You've been a great addition to our crew, the piece we didn't know we needed. You bring balance and calm to the Gallo family dinner table, and it truly takes the right person to handle 10 people arguing about 10 different issues at the same time without running away in a complete panic. You're always one to jump in on a joke, and you're a pretty solid Secret Santa gift giver. You're also someone I look up to, someone I trust and respect, and someone I try and emulate. You accept the good and bad in people, yet you never waver from your character, and you've truly become one of my brothers. Elizabeth, you've become a better person since you've been with Spencer. You've become more loving, vulnerable, softer, compassionate, and carefree with others. Spencer, I didn't know you before I knew Elizabeth, so I can't attest to whether or not you've improved, but I hope you have. But what I can tell you is that a room with Elizabeth and Spencer in it is a room that I want to be in. They're two of the most generous, considerate, wonderful people I know. According to the internet, one of the things you're supposed to do as maid of honor is give some marriage advice. But I'm not going to do that, given my lack of experience in this arena. But what I will do, as a certified witness to this union, is give you a promise. I promise to support you two and believe in your relationship through every season you face. To continue being your third wheel and make regular visits to Hotel Spencer. Maybe we should change that to Hotel English with the two of you. Regardless of where you live. To never stop reminding you guys that you're on the same team and all the reasons that brought you together. To be the best Aunt Nana to the future English crew. And lastly, to be your annoying little sister that will always be there for you through the good and the bad. So, without further ado, everyone could raise their glass to the new Mr. and Mrs. English. Cheers.
Let's give Hannah a big round of applause, please. And at this time,
I'm gonna try not to get too emotional. I practiced this in front of my dog and I bawled my eyes out, so. What a day, huh? The weather, everything was beautiful. What a day. My dad and brother have been talking about the weather of this day for the past 3 weeks, so thank God it turned out all right. I'm Spencer's younger brother, Harrison. Before I start this speech, I need to give a special shout out to my sister, Alexandria, for planting an idea that sprouted into this speech. Spenny and I go way back. For about 85% of my life, I've shared a room with my brother. 2 twin beds, the same wooden bed frames as my father and uncle, 6 feet apart for about 25 years. I was the prototypical younger brother, always looking to stay up late with him and his friends, playing video games at sleepovers. In our 2+ decades of crashing in the same barracks, we definitely shared our ups and downs. From pushing those twin beds together to practice wrestling moves at each other, to the driveway, to the driveway hockey games, where I may have high-sixed Benny in the face after he gloated for blocking my shot. My brother and I have spent a lot of time together, and I'm a better person for it. But I also self-proclaim to know my brother better than anyone, including my new sister. I know what he likes, and I know what he hates. I even know what doesn't sit well in his stomach, and our barracks have been gassed on many occasions. In all the years of being with my brother, there is one trait that is undeniable. Spenny likes all the best things. Whether it's Cole Haan shoes, Hotel Collection bleached white sheets, or a Harley Davidson, Spencer Richard loves the top-of-the-line things. He studies each purchase meticulously for months on end, reading review after review to find any flaw that might hinder his comfort. But what is almost Seinfeldian about this trait in Spencer is the very best thing in his life probably took no research at all. Do you remember the first day we met? I do. It was a house party at Grand Valley State University. I remember standing by myself as Spencer played beer pong with his roommate Dan Teskey, and Elizabeth was the one to walk over to greet me. I learned of her kind heart and welcoming demeanor as soon as I met her. My lovely girlfriend taught me something very vital about relationships. You want someone who pushes you to be the best version of yourself. Watching Spencer and Elizabeth's relationship grow, I quickly could tell they strive to make the best versions of each other. Someone who will pick you up after you get popped in the mouth and who will love you unconditionally. I have no doubt that my brother once again found the very best possible thing. I'm so elated to share this moment with the newlyweds and welcome Elizabeth with the same welcoming demeanor that she had once shown me. I'd like everyone to raise their glass. Love does not dominate, love cultivates, and we're all excited to see your garden of love grow. Cheers to Elizabeth and Spencer.
Come on, let's give Harrison a big round of applause, please. I forgot about this part. Thank you, everybody, for coming here tonight. I know, as Joe mentioned, far and wide, so it's not lost upon us for all the love and support in this room. We love each and every one of you guys with all our hearts, and you guys make us us. We're obviously very family-oriented people. Like I said, it's really special to have everybody in this room tonight, especially given all the different circumstances. So really lucky, really blessed. I don't want to take up too much more time, but...
we love you. Thank you. Let's dance. Let's eat.
let's party, baby. Woo!